Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you using the new Natasha Denona Lila Palette. If you haven't yet seen this palette up close, this is what it looks like. There are 15 shades in this palette and it retails for $129. I realize that is a lot of money to shell out for one palette at one time. I had kind of a hard time justifying it myself, but I do love Natasha Denona's products so much, and I actually passed on the Sunset palette because I had so many warm palettes already, but this one just spoke to me with its combination of jewel tones, some cool tones, some warm tones, and I just couldn't help myself. I got sucked into the hype. So I used this palette for the first time yesterday. I created a look, I posted it on Instagram, and many of you asked for a tutorial. I was so in love with the look that I already knew I wanted to do a tutorial for it, especially since a couple days ago my last upload was a very minimal makeup look, and while that is something that I do quite often because I'm running errands and I just don't have a lot of time to do a full face, if you know me at all, you know my channel, you know that I love to do full glam, and this is full glam. So if you're interested to see how I got this look using the Natasha Denona Lila palette, then please keep on watching. So my lid is already primed with Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Now I'm taking some pressed powder and a flat eyeshadow brush. You can use any pressed powder for this or even a ivory or cream eyeshadow. And I'm just setting my entire lid with this, just to set that primer and make a smooth canvas for blending. Now using my finger, I'm going into the shade Juno. I find that it's very sheer when using a brush, so I want more pigment, so I'm using my finger. So I'm taking Juno and I'm just popping it right under the brow, and then also a little bit in the inner corner of my eye. I haven't done concealer yet because I have found that some of these shadows have a good deal of fallout, so I want to do my concealer afterwards. Now using a Sigma E25, I'm going into the shade Per Se, and I'm blending that right into my upper crease. And I'm taking this long narrow crease brush, it's Stila number 2. And I'm going into this very beautiful, vibrant, pinky purple shade called Viola. And I'm placing that right in the crease, not quite as high as I went with Per Se. And I'm just working back and forth in a windshield wiper motion, adding more color as needed. Using my finger again, I'm going into the shade Livid. It's another one that I feel is more true to color and more vibrant when using your finger. I'm packing this one on the center of my mobile eyelid. Now using a Stila number 7 brush, I'm going into the shade below Viola. This is called Amethyst. I feel like it's showing up more blue on camera, but it's actually more purpley. And this one has a lot of fallout, so definitely be sure to tap your excess. And I'm placing this right on the outer corner. And then I like to take my finger and blend the two together. Now I'm taking a makeup wipe and getting rid of the fallout. Now we're gonna work on the lower lash line. I'm using a Sigma E15 flat definer brush. Going back into Per Se, which is the first color we used, and placing that right along my lower lash line, up underneath the lashes. Using Stila brush 28 and Amethyst again, and running that along the lash line as well. I try to connect these two colors and give it a more rounded look versus a cat eye. Once that's done, I'm gonna take a little black eye pencil. This is the Trish McAvoy Gel Eyeliner Pencil in black. And I'm just using this to tightline and also line my lower lash line. Now you could leave the eyes like this, but yesterday in my Instagram photo, I went full glam. I added some glitter. I added a little black in the outer corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I wanted this tutorial to be a true recreation of the photo I posted and the look that I was wearing on my Snapchat and in the Instagram photo. So in my Instagram photo, you really couldn't tell what I had going on the lid because I have hooded eyes, but I was wearing a little bit of this Stila glitter. This is called Smoky Storm. So how I apply this is I go directly with the applicator right onto the lid, focusing on the inner portion of my eye. And then I use my finger to blend it out. And finally, for another optional step, you can add a little bit of black to the very outer corners of the eye. I'm using a Morphe M507 and the shade Noir from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but you can use any black. And I'm just taking this and applying it right along the upper lash line, outer portion of the upper lash line, because I'm not adding any liner. And I'm just lightly blending that out into the outer corners, and then also a little bit on the outer portion of the lower lash line. So now I'm touching up my concealer. I'm going to add some mascara and come right back. So let's now finish off the face. For blush, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop Blush, and this is the shade First Love. For highlight, I'm using Becca's Opal Shimmering Skin Perfector. And yesterday for my lips in the Instagram photo, I was using Hot Lips from Charlotte Tilbury and Kim KW, but I had used this little sample, so I don't have it in my possession to use again. So I'm gonna use something that I think is a nice, inexpensive dupe for the Kim KW. Now the texture is totally different. The Hot Lips formula is amazing. This formula, it's a NYX Lip Lingerie, isn't quite as nice feeling, but the color looks very, very similar. I already mentioned it was a lip lingerie from NYX. This is the shade Babydoll. And just to add a little bit of definition to my lips, because this is such a light color, I'm going in with IT Cosmetics Your Lips But Better Lip Liner in Buff Nude. So here is the completed look with no false eyelashes. In my Instagram photo, I was wearing some pretty dramatic lashes. They're from Blinking Beauté called Bombesque. They're silk lashes. You can purchase at Sephora. But today I wanted to go with something a little bit less dramatic. So I'm using these Salon Perfect 614s. You can find them at Walmart. And I'm using 2 pairs doubled up. So I'm gonna go pop those on and then I'll show you the final look with lashes. I just realized that I completely missed one last step that I did on this eye. I took some of this shade right here, which is called Magnetic, and I brushed that right through the very top edge of my original crease color, in between that highlight color and that shade called Per Se, and I just blended it right in between, just very, very softly. So it takes the shadow up a little bit higher and gives it that little pop of pink. So now the look really is complete. I added that pop of pink, I added the lashes, and we are all done. So I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you decide to recreate this look and post it on Instagram, please use the hashtag RisaDoesMakeup so I can check it out. If you have any questions, this was not a review of this palette, but if you want to know anything about it, please just leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have in regards to it. Did you buy the palette? What do you think of it? I would love to hear your thoughts as well. So that's all. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.